Look out, world, we're live. What do we use as armor? How do we armor ourselves against love? Why do we armor ourselves against love? Worthwhile talking about. Now, I know that this is something that I do on a regular basis, not even meaning to. And to be very transparent here, to be a little more transparent, it wasn't until even more recently that I was all like, oh, this is one way that I'm armoring myself against connection. Now, that's a weird way of saying this. How we armor ourselves, how we block ourselves, how we shut down the opportunities to connect, the how we shut ourselves down, how we shut other people down from really connecting with us. And a big thing in all of this is fear. It's fear. It is scary to be vulnerable. So we want to armor ourselves up. So some common ways that we do this are with, humor. Humor, putting ourselves down, putting a situation down, compliments. Oh, no, 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 no. And what's interesting about compliments is there's a lot of cultural nuances. Depending on what culture you're in, or even what part of the country that you reside in, there are social norms to either accepting or rejecting a compliment that it's wild. It's so wild. So culture shock. What's interesting, another interesting point, and as speaking as a love relationship, feminine energy empowerment coach, is how often, well, I don't need to phrase it that way. How learning to be and function from feminine energy is its own culture. In a lot of ways, it's not a space that we've all grown up with having really great role models or great understanding. In fact, because it asks us, the whole feminine energy philosophy asks us to come down out of our brains and into our bodies and to experience life in a whole different way. So my prompt for you is to ask yourself, how am I armored? And if that doesn't resonate for you at all, take this more fanciful prompt. In if I was armored, and just see what comes up for you, what images, what thoughts, what messages, what tension flows through your body. Notice any tension in your voice, notice any tension in your body. If I was armored, what is my armor? If I had armor, what would that look like? And see just what messages come for you from here. This is super relevant, and I want to bring this up and created this whole graphic here because it's come up multiple times, multiple times between in conversations with other coaches as well as with clients. How, and we could phrase this in so many different ways. I believe many years ago I was hearing, oh, you're getting in your own way. You just have to get out of your way. That's another way of saying, how are you armored against what it is that you want? I'm standing in my own way, but I don't find that particularly helpful. And if it doesn't resonate for you, then let's just flip that whole, let's just relabel everything. If you don't have the kind of relationship you want, if you're not enjoying a specific kind of connection that you want, then there's something in the way of your receiving that. So let's call that your armor. What is that like for you? And to be respectful here, there's reasons why we choose to put on that armor, that we choose to. And I may also suggest it's very unfamiliar. Being without this armor, being without this protection layer, being completely vulnerable to the world, having our hearts completely vulnerable and touchable, seeable, that is a particularly scary type of feeling. So, yes, let's honor that. Let's honor that. And at the same time, let's invite more awareness into what's going on inside myself. I'd love to hear how this resonates for you and what answering the prompt. If you had armor, what would that be? Maybe how have you used humor to create disconnect? It may sound a little funny to say, oh, your sense of humor may be part of your armor, and yet not all that wild of a thought. So, few things to think about here, and I'd love to continue this conversation with you.